Welcome to the Market Smarter, Sell More podcast. I'm your host, Andy Barnett, joined as always by my co-host, the man who puts Hayes in the Hayes group. How we doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. Good to be back.
Yeah.
We have got a long episode today, so we are going to keep our segment nice and short.
Let's get right to it.
So let's get right to it. After this break, we will be back with our guest. Crazy King Burrito. Crazy King is now open in Carmel, Indiana, folks, and you do not want to miss their incredible menu. Crazy King burritos are made fresh daily with authentic Mexican recipes. They believe in doing one thing and doing it right, which is great news for us. Every burrito is fresh made by people who know exactly what they're doing to handcraft the biggest burrito I think I've ever seen. You can dine in or they can bring it out to you with curbside pickup. Check out their online menu at the link below to order from your new favorite burrito place. Crazy King Burrito. Welcome back to the Market Smarter, Sell More podcast. We are now joined by our guest, my friend, Daniel Crichlow with Indy Badge and Nameplate. Daniel, tell us a little bit about what you do. Give us your entire background and biography.
You got it. By the way, I know we know each other, but not everyone who even knows me well gets my last name right.
Oh,
So, man, good on you.
good done. Well
Yeah.
done. All right.
What percentage of people get it right?
Well, so in professional settings, 50% get it
Wow, is
right.
that low?
Really?
Now, for somebody who's had a relationship as long as we have, 50%. Let's say Crichlow,
Oh, okay.
Crichlow.
I was wondering what the variations were.
The Critch.
Critch,
That's the big one. So good job.
All right.
That's awesome.
Great.
There are a lot of funny stories about it. So about me, born and raised here in Indy, went to North Central, then went to IU, studied history and business, had dreams of being an entrepreneur, had dreams of then going into law school, but getting a history degree. I was like, okay, I just spent 4 years reading and writing. I don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
So changed gears. Halfway through my college career, I started working on a golf course, had played baseball my entire life, and then started playing golf in high school.
And you're really good.
Well,
I can attest. I've played with you. You're really good.
well, thank you. It took me a while to get good.
Yeah.
So I was a golf pro out of college for a few years. I never made it to a head pro job, but I was on a professional staff for several years and loved it. And each year, the further I'm out from being a golf professional, the better I get. Because golf pros don't have any time to play. So I got out. I was kind of burnt out anyway, so I didn't play a ton.
Mhm.
And then the past few years, I've started to pick it up again. So I was a golf pro for 5 years out of college. And then decided, you know what? I like summer and I don't want to work 7 days a week during the summer anymore.
Yeah.
Now, once you get to a high level, you can avoid that. But when you're an assistant or something like that, you're there 6-7 days a week. So I was like, nah, not for me. So I started looking around, and my good family friends, they owned an insurance agency, and it was a really good fit. Started working for them. I was the top first-year agent in the history of the company. Was doing really well there. They brought me and one or two other guys out to dinner and said, we want to sell the agency to you when we're getting ready to retire. I was like, hey, man, this is awesome. Like, I'm already making it. And then started to feel like, okay, I don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
Not sure this is for me. I had one or two really large commission deals that looked really promising. They were going to pay $30,000 in commission. And the client was ready to sign. They were like, we like you. We want to do this. And the company I was looking to place it with, this is right down Main Street for what they wanted to do. They sent an inspector out to the site. Inspector came back and said, this is one of the cleanest accounts I've ever seen. And the underwriter says, well, not going to write it. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. Like, this is what you do.
Yeah.
So got a bad taste in my mouth. That was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of wanting to get out of insurance. Started looking around. My dad had talked to me a little bit about coming to work for him. He's very hands-on in how he manages the business. I'm not. So looking at, is this what I'm going to take over and have to do? I was a little weary. He's one of my best friends. So working with my dad, I had no qualms about.
Yeah.
And I love it. But how he did it isn't exactly how I envisioned wanting to run a business. And saw some ways that I think once I take over fully, I'll be able to maybe outsource some of the things that he's very invested to that would free up me to not so much work in my business, but work on it. So went there, made that transition in January of 22 and tried to bring my insurance sales process, fell flat on my face. I pride myself on being a decent sales guy. I like talking to people. I know products well, but man, I was calling people who I was looking through our customer base. And I was like, these are our main clients.
Yeah.
And I was calling new ones and saying, hey, let us help you the next time you need it. And they're like, yeah, we'd love that. But they had no idea when it was going to be, because we have 3 arms of the business, right? We have tags and placards, nameplates and signs. And so I was calling for tags and placards, stuff like that. Like, yeah, we'd love you to quote, but I have no idea the next time we're going to need it. Or we just bought it literally yesterday. So I was creating a ton of follow-up for myself. Very little ROI. So that's kind of my work history. I'll be honest, work is not what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about it from the sense of it's something my dad's created and I want to honor what he's done with it. And I want to honor the Lord by how I work. And I want to make sure that I'm doing a good job. But making signs, making tags is not necessarily the huge passion in my life that I want to go after.
Sure.
So
sure. And now this is a family business and you bought it or your family bought into it. I know you said it's been around significantly longer than you guys have owned it, but you've owned it for a long time too. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, we were founded in 1948. So we're celebrating 75 years this year.
Nice.
I was just having a meeting yesterday, 2 days ago, with a guy who has had his business, I think, for 30 years or something. And I said, what do you do for your 20th? And he said, we didn't do anything. I realized people don't give a crap about how long you've been around.
Right.
Like they used to, maybe like, in the 80s, 70s, whatever, you said, hey, we made it to 50 years and people actually cared.
Yeah.
Now the most you do is buy your employees lunch and maybe throw something in your email signature.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool for me to be able to say, at least we've been around for 75 years.
Yeah.
My dad bought it in 1977.
Okay.
At that point, they were really just still doing tags, placards, metal, plastic. And he kind of grew it to incorporate name badges and interior signage, exterior ground level signage. It's been cool to watch.
That's awesome. So what % of mix of your business right now is from existing customers versus brand new customers?
Good question. We have some that order a lot consistently. Those are my favorite customers.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're watching, thank you very much. We love you. Probably 60% repeating, 30% new.
Okay.
And out of that new, I'll be honest, not a ton is from me. A lot of it's from our website. Our website is set up really well for people to find us for tags and placards for 2 reasons. Not a ton of people in Indianapolis are making custom tags anymore.
Really?
Or nameplates or faceplates or machine tags or, machine
Why do you
labels.
think that is?
Well, unless you're really, really going after the business, it's not super scalable. It's not something that you're going to grow to a $5 million book of business without a lot of work. If you can get into the right companies, people who are putting tags on everything they make, you can, but those are few and far between. So our average order from our website's $300. Somebody needs 50 tags for one order and they may not ever need it again. So since my dad's been tracking customers, I think from the 80s, we've sold to almost 3,500 unique customers. So it's a lot of one-offs, which that's one thing that hopefully I'm looking towards changing, because you get to a point and you have to learn to say no to business, right? No to people who say, hey, I need 20 tags. I'm never going to need you again. Okay, that $200, is it worth interrupting your other processes for your larger, more consistent customers? Probably not. So probably 7% is repeat. We have some really large customers that order once a year. We have some smaller companies that order 3 things, but they order them every 2 weeks.
Oh.
So it just kind of depends.
Right.
I know you mentioned to me that your name doesn't necessarily reflect the majority of your business now.
Yeah, that's right. In the tag space, and let me clarify tags, because when somebody hears tags, they're like, I have no idea what this dude's talking about. So, listener, tags, what we view those as is any type of metal or plastic material that is going to convey any type of information for someone. It can literally be that broad. So, a few examples of tags that we're currently making. There's a company that makes a custom crates for an engine manufacturer in town, and their engine components are really, really heavy. Sometimes they're shipping engine components that weigh a ton. So they have to have unique, really custom metal crates. And we make a 2x4 stainless steel tag that goes on the outside of that crate that says, here's the serial number of the part that's in it. Here's what it is, blah, blah, blah. So that's one type of tag.
Sure.
Other type of tag is for an electrician. They're going to go in and, let's say, Wilhelm, one of those big construction guys, they're creating a big industrial complex, and they're going to have 100 really high voltage panels in the background. They need to designate what's feeding the electricity towards those, what each switch does. And so we'll make custom engraved plastic tags to label each panel and each switch. We can also get decorative. So I don't know if you saw on my LinkedIn, I posted a picture of these JP brass engraved tags that are really small, but they go on jewelry. So we can get really creative with all of our tags. So our name can be confusing. In that space, it still kind of makes sense. Badge and nameplate, okay, that kind of aligns with what you're doing. We used to do all of the badges for IMPD. I think sometime in the 90s, they shipped those overseas, trying to get it back, but it's hard to compete with that.
Yeah, right.
We still do retirement badges for police officers. We love their work. So we're like, you know what? We'll honor them by, if they want to get a retirement badge, we'll do it for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So we still do badges when they're retiring. But we do tags, we do nameplates.
And the nameplates are like what's right outside our office out here, where it's, you know, Hayes Group, that 208, that kind of nameplate.
Yeah. And it's confusing because every company is going to call that something else. So I'll call one company and I'll say, hey, do you need any nameplates? And they're like, well, no, we're not in the 80s anymore when you have a nameplate on everybody's cubicle.
Yeah, right.
Funny enough, we still have like 5 companies that order a ton of that stuff.
Right.
So some people might call that a nameplate. Some people might call that a sign. Some people might group that into wayfinding. So it's kind of indifferent, or it changes from company to company.
Yeah, sure.
Which is really interesting, which makes my job kind of a little bit harder.
Right.
So when somebody calls
I think
in,
we called it a sign.
Yeah.
Until you called it a nameplate when you came here last time. So
So we get into signage, which that's where people have a ton of confusion with us. When they see Indianapolis badge and nameplate, that only brings up 2 things. But we have a really wide variety. We do banners, we do custom vinyl, we do glass vinyl, we do wall wraps, we do auto decals, we do car magnets, we do large interior wayfinding, ADA signage, digital directories, large cast plaques. We do illuminated signage. We do braille work. I mean, you name it. So you're right. Like, it's confusing if I'm just walking up to somebody, or I have my shirt on and they say, Indianapolis badge and nameplate, I'm never going to use that guy.
Yeah.
So sitting down, I had to totally change my sales process to, instead of calling people and saying, hey, can we work with you? Calling people that I would never work with and say, can we meet and network?
Yeah.
So I totally changed how I do business.
Yeah. I think an illuminated sign would look awful nice right up here.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
We've talked about that a couple times.
That's right. And I'll do it for free.
We appreciate that.
That's right. You got it.
So how do you get new business? That kind of segues into my question. Yeah, networking. And now, I mean, that's obviously, it sounds like it's changed from when you first started to kind of the angle you're taking now.
Yeah. So when I started, I was calling people and doing my sales pitch, was getting a lot of good reactions, and I was having a high hit ratio for people saying, yeah, we want to work with you, but we don't know when.
Yeah.
I dropped that, and there's a guy named Robert Bonjour who you should have on the show sometime.
Sure. I've met Rob. We golfed.
Oh,
with him.
that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So he was saying he wants to work with more marketing companies.
Mm-hmm.
And I drafted an email saying, Robert, you need to meet Andy. And before I hit send, I was like, I'm an idiot. We played golf together. He already knows him.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. So have him on the show. So we connected on LinkedIn, and we started networking together. And I saw how he developed business. I was like, I want to do what he does. So that was in the middle of 22. So I threw away my playbook in terms of how I wanted to call people, and I just started networking. So there are kind of three main areas we're currently getting business. One is our website. Since 2005, my dad hasn't had a sales guy, and he hates sales. So he's just let his website sell for him. When somebody searches tags, placards, faceplates, nameplates, we're probably the top result that comes up on Google. When somebody searches signs, we're like the 800. Our website is just not built for drawing people in for signs. So that's where networking really comes in. The Factor MRN one has been helpful for getting signage into manufacturing, doing safety signs for warehouse and stuff like that. But then BNI, which you're visiting tomorrow, has been useful as well. I was a little hesitant. I don't know if you guys had you heard of BNI before? Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I was a little hesitant getting involved because most of the ones that I'd visited were really heavy B2C.
Yes.
And we don't do anything B2C. But the one that Robert introduced me to is a lot heavier B2B. And there's some guys in there that are really good fits for me to refer to. And I love connecting people. It's one of my favorite things to do. Probably a quarter of my day is spent emailing where I'm getting absolutely nothing out of it. I'm just connecting.
You're getting something out of in the long run.
Well, I am.
Long run,
You're right. But in the short term, I'm not. It's not a sales email.
Right.
It's not a hey, let's connect and network.
Right.
It's hey, meet Andy. He's a really good dude.
Yes.
Which I love. So BNI has been really good because they track those metrics and stuff like that. And whatever. But it at least now gives me a broader network to really try and connect people. Sure. And it's been helpful for me to grow my business too. Early on though, I decided kind of around the time I met Robert, I'm not going to go after people who just want one thing. The people I'm going to prospect and the people I'm going to ask for referrals to are ones I can build a strategic partnership with. So those are the ones that I'm really interested in talking to. And I brought a few on that have been really useful and have given us a decent amount of business. And they're so much fun to work with. People who you can actually build a relationship with and add value instead of just here's a product.
It makes all the difference in the world.
100%.
And it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
That's the fun part.
It is. I'm a dangerous optimist. I think maybe we talked about this before, but I bring on somebody new or I get introduced to somebody or I find a new avenue. I'm like, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, this is perfect. We're going to sell $5 million next year. And like right now we're still under 500,000.
Right.
You know? And so I immediately go, instead of thinking about, okay, what are the roadblocks here? What are the hurdles that are going to come up? I just think, oh man, we haven't made this one small thing just changed everything. So it's something I'm working on, but those big ones haven't helped that. They've kind of made it more, oh yeah. This one new contact is going to do it.
Better an optimist than a pessimist.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
You're a lot more enjoyable to be around, I'm sure.
Sure.
So since you don't have a lot of exposure for signs, so tell us about your sign capabilities so people understand.
Yeah. Anything that you could imagine interior wise, we can do, graphic wise or sign wise. when you get outside,
Mhm.
just think ground level. So monument signs, exterior wayfinding, parking lot signs, banners, window vinyl, things like that. Interior wise, we can go as big as, think going into a Starbucks and you see one of those big wall graphics that shows the picture of them roasting beans and stuff.
Yeah.
So we can go as big as that. We can
Mhm.
do really cool graphic output. We do some of that in-house, but we lean on one of our vendors to help us with some of the big stuff.
Mhm.
Think dimensional letters. So you probably walked into a nice building and you walk into somebody's entryway and they have their core values listed with 1-inch acrylic letters.
Mhm.
We can do all of that stuff. We can make custom logos or letters out of acrylic, plastic, metal, foam with any type of finish on it.
Mhm.
So for here, we could do an illuminated logo
Mhm.
with your orange LEDs in the back. The
Uh-huh.
cool thing about signage today and illuminated, it used to be that you could only do illuminated with white.
Mhm.
Now with LEDs, you can get some really cool colors
Yeah.
and you can mix colors too.
Uh-huh.
So where in the same logo, you could probably have 5 colors, whether it's front illuminated, side illuminated, or halo, meaning
Yeah.
back illuminated.
Uh-huh.
So we can do anything illuminated. We can do custom, what I'll call fat heads. You probably heard those.
Oh, yeah.
So removable vinyl, right?
Uh-huh.
So where you can take it off the wall and it doesn't hurt it.
Mhm.
We can do permanent vinyl. There's a really cool product, I think it's called SEG, where you could take even a wall like this that is textured
Mhm.
and you install a small metal frame that you really wouldn't see. And then you print it out on a fabric, the SEG fabric that has a beaded silicone edge, and it just slips into the frame. So you could have 10 different things and you can just change it out. So the exhibit house, I'll talk about them for a minute. I had a meeting with them yesterday. They all they do is make exhibit shows for the most part. They have a really cool shop. Their capabilities are really broad, but they had this same product in their entryway. It made it look like this curved wall was this really cool custom wood wall with individual farm type slats. But you
Mhm.
walk up to it and you touch it and it's all fabric.
Ah.
So you can get some really cool designs to
Uh-huh.
really scape the interior space of any office.
Mhm.
Or let's say if you have a ton of cubicles, instead of having dumb cubicle walls, that's boring.
Mhm.
You can do SEG walls where you can have any type of graphic you want. You can make it feel like you're in a cabin by having these custom walls up. So we can do stuff like that. We can do metal logos. We can do like the stuff out there, custom wayfinding
Mhm.
with Braille. Our largest client that we do signs for is the New York subway system. We redid all of their interior metal signs. So
Mhm.
because it's the New York subway system, it can get sometimes a little abrasive
Yeah.
down there. They wanted something a little bit more sturdy than just a typical
Sure.
plastic sign.
Uh-huh.
So we do a stainless steel chemically etched sign that raises the letters and raises Braille
Mhm.
that will then powder coat and paint that'll go by doors. So it'll say electrical room or exit to Broadway Street
Mhm.
or platform 9 3/4.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm reading a book about Harry Potter right now. So.
I thought you were referencing being John Malkovich.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so our capabilities are really broad. We're doing a job right now in Greenfield that we're installing digital directories. So instead of having a static one where there's nothing going
Mhm.
on, it's basically a high-tech TV where you can have your own data playing
Sure.
and
Uh-huh.
you can change stuff out really quickly.
Oh, that's
So-
really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you guys partner with somebody on that for the, electronic end of that, or is that?
Yeah, so there are several softwares that you can use. The one that we like the most is website based. So some you have to buy a subscription to their software, and it can get pretty pricey.
Sure. Then you have to train somebody to be the expert
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
Right. Uh-huh.
One we like to use is it's hosted online. You get a login, you sign in, and you have everything right there. You can pay a little extra to have like a weather widget show up underneath your directory or something so people can see stuff. But for the most part, you log in, you change somebody's name, and that's it. It's super uncomplicated. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. So it sounds like we know all about signage and badges and nameplates. Let's get to know a little, and tags. That's right.
That's right.
So let's get to know a little bit more about Daniel.
Yeah.
Early bird, night owl. Well, you got a baby now.
Yeah,
So,
I do.
so you don't sleep, right?
Well, man, he's a good sleeper.
Oh, really?
Anyone who hasn't had an easy baby, please close your ears, don't, or just mute it. From like
You myself. I'm out of here.
a month and a half on, he was sleeping 7 to 7, or maybe
Wow.
2 months on, he was sleeping 7 to 7.
Wow.
About a month ago, we had a stretch where he was waking up consistently at 5 a.m., 4 a.m. And we thought it was just a typical 8-month, 7-month sleep regression. And then we realized we were terrible parents and the room was getting too cold. And so he was waking up cold and crying.
Yeah.
So we got a heater, and he's doing great now again. But yeah, so I mean, we've slept pretty well from 2 months on. I'm a night owl up to an extent. And so what I mean is I was in a fraternity at IU, and at 1:32, I would start to lose it. I'm like, guys, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Like this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And my friends, they'd be staying up till 4 or 5, and then I'd see them next day, and they'd be like, Dan, you missed it.
Oh.
Like X happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Of course.
really?
Yeah.
Well, looking back now, man, I'll take my sleep.
I'm
That's
good.
all
Yeah.
right. That's all right. I'm a big sleep guy. So just like coffee, I wish that was something I did that I don't. Just like liking to get up early. I wish I liked to get up early, man. I don't.
Hey, you got a good crowd. You got a crowd here that's going to agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I envy people who can just wake up and be ready to go. Right, first few years out of high school, first few years out of college, it was hard for me to get up, but once I was up, I was ready to go.
Right.
Now, I get up and it takes me 15, 20 minutes to be like really ready to go. And I don't drink coffee, so it just takes me a little bit of time. And
Well, I didn't drink coffee either till I started here. And this guy's
Yeah.
just the pusher man over here.
Yeah.
He's
You
turned
want
me
some
into
coffee?
That's right. I heard that nonstop. Finally, just broke me. I started drinking coffee. So,
now, did you not drink coffee because of the taste or what caffeine did to you?
well, I felt like I was getting too much caffeine. I always
Yeah.
have a Coke for lunch.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I get my caffeine during my lunchtime, but I didn't want to then have it in the morning and
Sure.
then at lunch. I felt like I was caffeine overload. So I
Yeah.
was just trying to taper my caffeine in
Yeah.
a nutshell. So, but I still have my Coke for lunch. Now I just have some
There you
coffee
go.
in the morning too.
Yeah.
So one question for you. You were talking about getting good at golf. What does it take to get good at golf? Just playing a lot?
No. If you play a lot,
Mm-hmm.
you'll learn
Reinforcing bad habits?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you play a lot, you'll learn how to navigate those. And so you can get to you'll have a floor. If you're just playing, you can learn how to get better. You hit a slice, you'll learn how to manage that. So you can get to a certain point.
See how he looked at me during that?
No
Slice.
comment. No comment.
Hey, you're playing the opposite fairway the whole way.
That's right, man.
I thought we were over there.
No, I like, dude, I had a great time with you.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Um,
I'm not sure we played many of my shots, but we had a really fun time.
I will say, if you play a lot, the one thing you will improve on is consistency. Any amount of swings that you can do to build consistency is going to help. So I'll give you an example. If you shoot in the hundreds, just going out and playing more or going to a range is going to help because you're going to find a little bit more of a consistent swing. Probably the biggest problem with amateur golfers who aren't playing a ton is they just don't have a consistent swing. So once you play more, once you start hitting more, you're going to build some consistency. So you know, okay, on average, this is probably where it's going to go.
Mhm.
Getting from 100 to 90 is just playing more. Getting from 90 to 80 is then playing more, but understanding course management,
Mhm.
which people don't talk about a lot. People just talk about you need to fix your swing. Okay, that's great. If you fix your swing, cool. But if you don't know, okay, where my miss is supposed to be,
Yeah.
like this is my bailout.
Uh-huh.
This is my safe spot. You're not gonna start to see your strokes lower. That's your next kind of stage of understanding. Okay, how do I get better? Is I need to know how to read a course.
Uh-huh.
And if the flag is here, I may not go at it. If it's over here, hey, okay, we're shooting things all day.
I just go at it every time. I didn't come out here. I only play golf a couple times a
why
year.
not?
I didn't come out here to play it safe.
That's right, of course.
I'm going to go for it
That's
every
right.
time.
I'm going for the woods.
That's
This
right.
time.
Yep. And yeah,
That's right.
normally I did.
That's right. Part of course management is learning how to remove don't from your vocabulary. Most people on the golf course see something and they say, don't hit it there. Don't is a magnet.
Oh, yeah.
If you start thinking don't, you're going there, man.
Yeah.
And then getting from 80 into the mid to high 70s is more about technique. Then you really need to dial in your swing. You need to dial in getting feel right. You need to dial in understanding club usage, meaning, okay, maybe I hit my stock 7-iron 160 yards, but because there's a tree that I can maybe barely get over, understanding like, okay, this is this swing type, or changing the descent angle, or changing hooding or opening a club face is going to allow me to hit a different type of shot. And then getting to the lower 70s is really more mental, is really working on your mental game. There's a book that helped me that's called Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. It was a sports psychologist that kind of, the thesis of the book was talking about this free throw shooter who he was or 3-point shooter. I'm sorry. He was like a 45, 50% 3-point shooter. So an amazing shooter.
Yeah.
And almost the entire night, he was missing everything that he was putting up. And then it came down to the last seconds of the game. Somebody passed it to him and he hit the winning shot. And somebody asked him, how did you have the confidence to shoot that? And he'd been working with this guy who wrote the book. And he was like, well, I know I'm a 48% 3-point shooter. I just missed 4 in a row.
Yeah.
So
Odds are really
Odds are in my favor.
Yeah.
yeah. So like going through the mental process and understanding how do I think clearly on a golf course is kind of that next step to get lower. So depending on where you are, you can kind of take one of those things and start to lower some of your scores by doing one of those things.
There you have it. We can break 100 now.
There you go, man.
I doubt it. A lot of snowmen on our cards.
Yeah, that's right.
No, hey, that's all right.
You a music guy?
Yeah. Both listening and playing.
Okay.
So I grew up playing percussion, got out of it. And then I'm a YouTube hobbyist, meaning I'll see something on YouTube and I'll get really into it. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. And I had always wanted to learn how to play the piano since I was little. And finally, a year and a half ago, there's an app called Simply Piano.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like $150 a year. So it's a little pricey to get the subscription, but one lesson for an hour is probably $40.
Yeah.
So, you can do this for as long as you want. So it made sense. So I got that, started teaching myself how to play the piano and I love it.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm a music guy.
All right. What do you listen to? Any favorite bands or favorite?
All-time favorite band is probably Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Never saw them in concert, but really like their stuff. Kind of that grunge, alternative.
Sure. Our era. We're all around the same age there. So yeah.
Yeah. My first concert was Hootie and the Blowfish. My most memorable concert was Brooks and Dunn. I'm not a country guy,
Right.
but I had friends in high school like, we want to go to this. They're not touring anymore because I think one of them died actually.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I know they broke up at
Yeah.
one point.
Okay, maybe that's it. But dude, best people watching concert I've ever been to.
Really?
Yes. They were guys in Daisy Dukes.
Oh my
They
god!
were like some of the stuff around there, man. It was
I can't believe
Where,
what I'm seeing.
what was the venue?
I don't know what it's Klipsch or whatever
Oh,
it's
yeah.
called. now.
Deer Creek. It's called
Deer
Deer
Creek,
Creek.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
My heyday was when it was Verizon.
Okay.
So I still call it Verizon.
Uh-huh.
But I don't even know what it's called now.
Yeah.
Ruoff.
Ruoff. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it was.
Yeah.
I was really into Third Eye Blind for a while. Went to one or two of their concerts
Mhm.
at Clues Hall. That was fun. I mean, that's
cool.
That's a
Good
cool place to see.
Yeah, great venue.
So in the car, so I'll usually listen to that stuff when I'm at the gym, when I'm running, stuff like
Mhm.
that. In the car, anything that comes on, Christian music, stuff like that. So, what about you guys? What do you listen to?
Oh, all kinds of stuff.
Everything. It's not about us. This isn't about us.
No,
though.
it is. I want to hear.
This is,
Man.
this is the Daniel episode. Actually, he's a drummer. It's funny you said that about
Oh,
percussion.
nice.
He's a drummer in a band, and I'm a bit of a hack on the guitar. So, but a lot of things you mentioned is
Yeah.
kind of what we listen to as well. So,
So, okay, I like guessing based off of appearances.
okay,
All right, so I would have to say like metal. Like, do you ever listen to metal?
Define metal.
That's a good question.
Because there's like
not screamo metal, just like
there's like
Five Finger Death Punch
no.
or not Nine Inch Nails. Is that a metal band?
yeah, they're
Nah.
more
Or,
industrial. They're more industrial.
Slipknot.
Slayer, Slipknot, Megadeth, Metallica.
Yeah.
No.
Oh wow.
All those-
Man. Okay.
But he's not too far off when you
Okay.
talk
No,
hard rock.
I listen to the heavier rock. So
Yeah,
I
heavier
like
rock.
Led Zeppelin. I like
yeah.
Queens of the Stone
Foo
Age,
Fighters, yeah.
Foo
Good stuff.
Fighters, Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains.
All great bands.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And me. What do you see from me?
I would say some country.
No.
I feel like
This
some
is fun.
rap, maybe.
Oh, I definitely grew up on rap.
Same.
I mean, we're
I did
you know,
too.
90s
Yeah.
kids. You
Yeah,
know,
of
we
course.
got
Sure.
Ice
definitely
Cube
rap.
and Ice T
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Easy E.
Yeah, I went to see NWA here in
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
That's a
Let's
whole
go.
nother conversation
Yeah.
off camera. But yeah, that was wild when I was like 12.
And
by
then
the way.
I would say same thing like hard rock, like Metallica
Yeah.
and something like
Yeah, well, maybe not even that hard. I like a little bit of everything. I'm a diehard Pearl Jam guy, but basically everything he just named. I just went and saw Queens of the Stone Age, which was super cool too.
that. That's cool,
So,
man.
yeah, really. How about movies? TV movies.
Oh,
You watch? What are you watching on TV first?
Hold on. I got a question. So
Okay.
you're a fast start. It sounds like you get really into something really
Mhm.
fast. What month were you born in?
October,
Okay. What's that sign?
Cancer.
Cancer. Okay.
Which is funny because I had cancer. So.
So it's
Oh.
the age old debate: is it nature or nurture? So yeah. So that sounds
know,
like it sounds like it's more nurture.
Yeah, I think so. I have a few friends that are the same way.
Yeah.
But fishing, for example, it'll be 3 years and I barely fish. And the next year, that's all I want to do is fish.
Just get into it.
Or chess.
Yeah.
I go through seasons with chess where for 6 months, I'm just on my phone playing chess all the time. And then I'm like, okay,
I'm done.
I'm
out.
done with it. Yeah.
yeah. So
That's how I am with video
Yeah.
games. I'll start a video game.
Yeah.
And I don't play a lot, but then
Yeah.
I find one I like and I just play it till I finish it. And
Yeah.
then I don't pick up a controller again for a year.
yeah, same.
It's just, of course, I have to pry it away from my kids too. So that's part of the problem.
Sure.
It's been about 18 years since I picked up a
Sure.
controller.
So, yeah. Gosh. So TV, what are you watching?
So right now, my wife and I, do you guys know the show Seventh Heaven? You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Old show,
Uh-huh.
really like family oriented.
Yeah.
I watched that growing up
Sure.
and I told my wife about it. She was like, "Oh, we should watch that."
Uh-huh.
And it was really funny. This is how I am with TV shows. Same thing with hobbies. If it's a long show, more than 3 seasons, we'll get 25% of the way through. I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I'll be like, can we watch something else? And my wife is, you start something,
She's a finisher.
oh yeah,
I'm a finisher too. Yeah.
you have to get to the end.
Yeah.
And so we'll we'll play with a few series and then we'll go back to it.
Mhm.
But we love 80s stuff. Like our favorite sitcom ever was Cheers.
Oh yeah.
We love that stuff. My favorite sitcom ever was The Office. Still my favorite show
Yeah.
ever. Tried to get in the
They're
parks.
bringing it back, by the way. Do you know that?
Yeah,
The
yes,
Office.
yeah.
I don't know how they're going to. Obviously, not with all the original cast. But
Yeah.
it's coming back. So,
Really?
Yeah. Just
Carell?
announced.
Is Carell going to be in it?
No, I think just Dwight will be the.
Okay.
I think because you can't bring. I mean, Carell. The way Michael Scott ended his run,
in like
him, Jim, and
season
Pam.
6.
Yeah, it's like the perfect ending for those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
You really can't bring them back.
Yeah.
But there's pretty open ended with a lot of.
That's
rest of
pretty
the people,
interesting.
so,
I would watch it.
yeah.
On Peacock, they have The Office Superfan, which is every episode with the deleted scenes added back
Oh,
in.
really?
And so, like, watching it at first, you're like, I don't see much different. All of a sudden, it'll be like a 2-minute conversation. You're like, that wasn't in there. the
I don't
first time.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, so that's cool.
There's good podcasts with that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's Jenna Fisher and
whoever Angela was.
Angela Kinsey. I think it's her real name, Angela, too.
Yeah, what's the name of it? Like The Office Girls or
Yeah, something like
I
that.
forget.
Where they're going through like every
Yes.
episode and kind of
Yeah.
saying like what really happened, kind of behind the scenes and how it all played out, and how the filming went, and all that. It's kind of cool. I've listened to a little bit of it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's for the
Um,
mega fan.
That's right.
You were a mega fan.
I was a pretty big fan.
Yeah.
Still am. Matter of fact, it's on every day on Comedy Central.
Right.
So, and my TV's pretty much defaulted to Comedy Central.
There you
So
go.
I'll just turn on Comedy Central and it's probably on, and I just sit there and end up watching whatever's on there. So,
So, do you like stand up?
I love stand up.
Who's your go to?
I really into a lot of the YMH people right now. I like Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer and
Yeah.
that whole crew of people.
Yeah.
So, but I like them all. I love Duncan Trussell too. He's fantastic, brilliant guy. But how about you? They all have podcasts too, by the way.
I know
Yeah.
they do.
Uh-huh.
Jim Gaffigan.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Brian Regan.
Okay, yeah. Gaffigan's an Indiana guy.
He is.
He went to Purdue.
He's
He played
funny.
football.
He
Yeah. Oh,
is.
he's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Real family friendly too. He is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, there's a guy on YouTube Shorts. I forget his name. He's up and coming. He just released a Netflix special.
Okay.
A little bit of a bigger dude, really funny.
Mhm.
Every time I see him, I like his clips just so I can remember who he is and go and watch his special. I kind of have to be in the mood for stand up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a fan. In terms of movies, because you asked about that,
Mhm.
anything action,
Okay.
which
You like stuff blowing up?
I do. Yeah,
Fast
I
and the
do.
Furious
Yeah.
guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first two. And then
Okay.
after that,
You're like, I'm out on this franchise.
Yeah,
Come on, guys.
Yeah. Then it
Yeah.
got ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you keep it interesting? You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You don't.
Favorite series of all time, Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah.
I think I probably watched it 15 times.
Have you watched the Pacific?
Mhm.
What'd you think of that?
It was really well done. So being a history major and I focused on American history with an under focus on American military history, they did a really good job of showing the difference. So like if you watch them side by side, I think they got the feel of the theaters right.
Mhm.
European theater, a Band of Brothers felt right. And then like watching the Pacific, like it feels so much darker.
Yeah.
Which if you read about it, like it was.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I thought they did a good job. It was based off the book With the Old Breed by Eugene Sledge.
Yep.
I read that in college. And I thought they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I've not watched it. I just saw recently it came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I saw that Hanks and Spielberg directed it. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm going to check it out. Because
Yeah.
Band of Brothers is one of my favorites
Yes.
of all time, too.
So they're in production. It's going to come out on Apple TV. I don't know when, sometime later this year or early next year, I think. And it's called Kings of the Air or something. So it's now the Air Force version of Band of Brothers.
Oh, wow.
so
that'd be
and,
cool.
and
Yeah.
Hanks is directing it. So it's going to be really good.
That's an interesting take because
Yeah.
not a lot of history focuses on the
No.
Air Force's involvement,
No.
Yeah.
Which,
at least in movie form.
right. You're right. If you think about like a GI
Mhm.
in Europe, I hope that they have some sense of what those guys felt when they heard their Mustangs or Warthogs
Yeah.
come into a battlefield.
Mhm.
Just like the sense of relief
Yeah.
of, okay, finally.
And the enemy
They're
was
here.
like, oh, bleep.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. That'll be cool.
Cool.
That'll be cool.
Well, I know we've gone way over our time, but we still got to spin the wheel. So
This is
okay.
your favorite part.
This
man.
is
If
my
you don't
favorite
spin the
part.
wheel, you're gonna have
yeah,
withdrawal.
right. It doesn't even count as an episode unless we spin the wheel. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to give you a random topic, and then we will see. Right, here we go. Okay.
This is his favorite part here,
This
Daniel.
is
Let's go. Come on.
this is random
Let's go.
topics. Okay.
Wait, shouldn't he spin it?
Nah, we
no.
didn't.
You go through withdrawal. Somebody else.
I know that's right.
Spin
This
it.
is my job. Everybody stay away from it.
I think I'm gonna do it next time.
Yeah, you're the boss. I can't say much about that. All right,
I wouldn't take it away from you. All right, there we go.
Oh, we literally
Well-
just talked.
It's a series.
Yeah. Okay.
But
They-
I mean, if you stitched it together, it'd be a movie.
Right. So okay.
Are you going to spin
can't-
it again? I mean,
Well, I mean, I can spin it again. You want another spin?
You tell me, man.
You know what?
I'm here for you guys.
This is an opportunity for me to spin it again. Are you kidding?
Oh, come on.
Spin it again. We got to get something else.
just put it on what you want.
I know. That's right.
What do you want?
I wanted aliens last time, and I got that already. So favorite music.
Maybe you should spin again.
Yeah, dude,
sure.
let's
We
go.
already
Come on.
talked
Let's
about
spin
that.
this
Let's
thing
have some
again.
fun.
Jeez.
Third time's a charm.
Or you can just pick one. You can spin it, but pick the one you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about your dream vacation?
Oh, that's I'm so glad it landed on that.
Yeah.
There we go. It's a dream vacation.
The audience didn't see that.
Yeah, right.
Man, anything with a beach.
Same here.
So my wife is slowly changing me. She's
Uh-huh.
beach all the way too.
Yeah.
But she grew up, her family was, let's go to the beach, but let's have everything planned. And let's
Not me.
have a lot of excursions. I've always been, all right, let's stay in a nice place, walk down to the beach, hang out for a while, come back, have lunch, swim in the pool, go back to the beach, go out to dinner,
Sure.
smoke a cigar, relax. And that was my vacation. I'm like, I'm here to relax, man.
Uh-huh.
She's changed me a little bit though, where it is fun. Like every once in a while, let's go visit a nearby city. Let's find a cool zoo nearby and go check it out. You fill in the blank.
Sure.
So
And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But I don't want it planned. I
I'm the
want
same
to
way.
do lots of stuff, but I don't want it planned.
Come on,
I might
man.
want to just
Yes.
get up and someone asks me what I want to do. It's like, well, I'm probably going to walk over there and sit on that couch for a little bit.
That's right.
Think about where I want to walk to next.
Yeah,
so
cool.
I don't want it planned.
I mean,
but
it's kind of, an observation for me personally is that, when things are super well and over planned.
Yeah.
I think back at how many times did I have magic show up in those moments, and very little.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And when you least expect it and you kind of get out of your comfort zone a little bit and you're like, maybe you're in Hilton Head and you go to Savannah for the day, or
Yeah.
maybe you're in Tampa and you go down to, Crystal Beach or something like that, whatever for the day. And you do an excursion, like you're saying, all of a sudden you're like, man, that was the best time.
Yes.
And then you try and go back and recreate it and it's never the same.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So anything on the west side of Florida, we honeymooned on the east side of Florida.
Okay.
One of our favorite vacations was to my cousin's wedding out in Encinitas, California, which is 45 minutes north of San Diego.
San Diego's, that's our
Yeah.
go-to place.
We
We got
went-
engaged there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Dude, it's
yeah.
beautiful.
It is.
It is. Then we went to La Jolla and did some snorkeling.
Nice.
Had my GoPro. Got some really cool footage of some big seals, those big orange fish. I forget what they're called.
Oh, La Jolla has that beach.
I
where
think
all
it's
those-
Nemo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's Nemo.
that's right. That's right. Dory made an appearance just once.
Right.
And then, like the next day, we took these big paddle boards and we're going to take them out into the Pacific, just kind of sit and see what we could see. And I made this stupid decision of, well, I've never been in the Pacific really. I'm going to try and dive over a wave. And
Oh yeah.
those waves are way more powerful than
They are.
the Atlantic. And I had my GoPro on my head.
Gone
I was gone
Oh,
instantly.
really?
So all that footage was lost.
from the whole trip.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now we're like, we need to go recreate that.
Yeah. Yeah. It gives you an excuse to go back.
Yeah. But dude, so my dream is anywhere in Florida. It's just so relaxing. Food's good.
Yeah.
Weather's always great at night to go out and smoke some cigars.
Mhm.
So That's it for
Nice.
sure.
Nice. Well, great. Listen, we really appreciate you coming by
Yeah,
here.
man.
Where can people find you? See your website and we're going to put it all on the screen
Yeah.
anyways, but why don't you tell us?
Yeah. So the website's www.indiebadge.com. But the better thing is my link tree. It's like linktree.com/DMC185 or something.
Okay.
I can get it to you.
Okay. Just
I
get to
don't
me. We'll put it up on the screen
Yeah, but
and
that has all of my links. That has my LinkedIn, my business Instagram, website, contact info, our past project sheet, capability statement,
awesome.
list
Yeah.
of products. So Linktree is where to
What's not on Linktree?
my social security number.
Dang it.
It's not on there.
Yeah.
Your date of birth,
That's right.
your birthplace, your birth
That's right.
certificate.
That's
And
right.
credit card number. That's
right.
I mean,
just about
other than that-
Now, I like you guys so much. If you want me to list that, I will.
Yeah, go ahead and throw that on there too. So,
Yeah.
well, hey, thanks for joining us. Hopefully, you come back and see us again.